Hey guys, I'm going to show an armbar defense today that I've been working on for a while. I haven't been armbarred in competition in over a year with this defense, and also it makes it really hard for my training partners at the academy to finish me as well. So Ben's going to have me in an armbar, and he'll be collecting my right arm. So what I want to do is take that same arm and grab my own lapel on the opposite side. The deeper the better. Ben, if you can move this just to show. So the deeper I can get this, the better. Now with my opposite side arm, I'm going to go underneath that arm and grab my lapel in the same fashion. Once again, the deeper the better. Once I've got these grips, I want my elbows to go to my ribs. Now that I'm here, Ben, you can throw that leg over. If he tries to finish, go ahead and finish. And he's not going to be able to get it. All right, so now I'm going to show you how the defense works in real time. Ben's going to try to finish the armbar. All right, Ben, give it everything you got. It's unbreakable.
Let's go! Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. No one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors, no one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors.
I love he sets up the entire instruction video like this is like the ultimate way to get out of it, and he gets choked out on camera. And then,
where do you get this stuff?
Well, I actually owe credit where credit's due. Lenny Carlheim posted that one on Facebook a couple months ago.
Lenny!
I thought it was hilarious. So that one was not Albert Cameron being the original creative mind he is. That was actually Lenny Carlheim putting that one out there. But still, really funny.
Very funny. What's up, everybody? I'm Drew Shannon. He's Albert Cameron. And yeah, this obviously is not the wrap-up episode for Gladiators of the Cage. We thought we'd put one out at some point to maybe kind of buffer in between the time it's going to take us to put that one together. So you're still getting a new episode of Cage Nation TV. It's just probably not the one we promised you. But have no fear, that one will be arriving shortly. We will have all the results from Gladiators of the Cage, Road to Glory 5, and we'll have some interviews and all sorts of great stuff. So stay tuned. You do not adjust your computer. We're just kind of, you know.
We could have skated on having the recap episode be episode 14, but I think we really enjoy what we do so much that we saw the opportunity to put out an episode 14, and like Maverick and Goose and the F-14 and Top Gun, we took the shot.
Jester's dead.
That's a good reference.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. Coming up on this episode of Cage Nation TV, of course, we got the newsreel. We're also going to do something new, something kind of different. We got questions put into a bowl. We don't know which ones we're going to get.
Nope.
We're going to take turns answering them. It's kind of like a look back.
Like a stroll down memory lane.
Exactly. I mean, all we need is Simple Minds playing Don't You Forget About Me in the middle of this. I mean, we got ourselves an 80s montage.
Oh, wait for it. Okay.
That was good. And then we're actually going to do another hot topic this week. Bellator is doing some things that are still just kind of scaring me as far as a promotion goes, as far as people doing business. So we're going to get some preparedness to the entire Cage Nation, and we're going to talk about all that coming up. But first, the Cage Nation TV Newsreel.
That's coming your way next on Cage Nation TV. Stay tuned.
Since the dawn of furniture, there has been only one way to keep an infant from rolling off a couch or chair, and that is unsafely cramming cushions against the piece of furniture and hoping the baby doesn't work him or herself under them. Until now. Introducing the Zoster. The Zoster is a revolutionary infant safety product that easily wraps around a cushion to keep your baby from rolling off a couch or chair. The Zoster is made with a fleece material complete with a waterproof underneath to keep various liquids away from your upholstery. The Zoster is currently available in solid colors and pattern designs. You can order the Zoster online today at thezoster.com.
It's time for another edition of Cage Nation TV Newsreel, spanning the globe to bring you the latest news in MMA. Guilherme Cruz of MMAfighting.com reports that the UFC is planning a fight night card in Australia for December 21st at a venue to be announced, and that heavyweights Mark Hunt and Antonio Silva have verbally agreed to fight in a 5-round main event. Both heavyweights last fought in losing efforts at UFC 160 in May, with Hunt knocked out by Junior Dos Santos and suffered a nasty case of staph infection following the bout, while Silva was stopped by Cain Velasquez in the main event of that card. Former UFC lightweight champion Sean the Muscle Shark Shirk announced his retirement on Monday at the age of 40. Shirk has not fought since September 2010, where he won a controversial split decision over Evan Dunham at UFC 119. Shirk competed at welterweight before dropping down to lightweight and would win the UFC lightweight title at UFC 64 on the same card where Anderson Silva defeated Rich Franklin to win the middleweight title. Shirk was stripped of that title following a July 2007 bout with Hermes Franca, where both failed their post-fight drug test, and Shirk came up positive for the steroid nandrolone and fought the California State Athletic Commission and eventually had his suspension reduced. Shirk retires with a record of 36-4-1. And the MMAReport.com reports that rumors began to circulate online Wednesday about the status of Joe Warren for his fight on Saturday night against Nick Kirk in the co-main event of Bellator 98 at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. There was speculation that Warren would not be able to compete, and Bellator MMA chairman and CEO Bjorn Rebney clarified the situation to the MMAReport.com on Thursday afternoon. As of the time of this recording, Warren is still awaiting clearance from the Mohegan Tribe Commission. If Warren is cleared by the commission, he will face Kirk in one of the Season 9 Bantamweight Tournament's semifinal bouts. The other semifinal will take place at Bellator 100 September 20th, when Brandon Bender meets Travis Marks. Rebney is hopeful to have the final of the Season 9 tournament before the end of the season. This has been another edition of the Cage Nation TV Newsreel. Stay tuned to Cage Nation TV on Facebook for the latest in MMA news.
Welcome back to Cage Nation TV. As Albert mentioned, we have the box. Show them the box.
The box. It's the box. It's my favorite color too, which is neither here nor there. With us being so close to Gladiators of the Cage Road to Glory 5, you know, I think North Shore's Rise to Power 2 was one of the favorite things we've ever done. I mean, we had a fantastic road trip. Yeah. Permani Brothers for the first time, but then we also got involved, got to interact with everyone at Gladiators of the Cage and Fractured City Gear, and I think those sort of things really just make for great memories, because not only did we get to do the buddy road trip kind of thing, but we also made some fantastic contacts in the mixed martial arts world. So with that being said, I thought it'd be fun to kind of prepare some questions and really kind of dig into the unprepared answers we give about our favorite time in mixed martial arts.
All right, so you're gonna pick one out for me to answer.
What's the most special fight in your opinion?
Most special fight in my opinion, I would have to say, you know what? There's been so many fights.
There really have.
I'm gonna say though that the first female fight for Complete Devastation MMA. It was special for me because I had never seen, I've always seen two guys duke it out in mixed martial arts. I had never seen the ladies go at it, and I was kind of wondering what to expect, and it was kind of a historic moment at that point. But yeah, it was that moment where I was like, hey, these ladies are, they're here to bring it. They're the real deal. It's not some powder puff WWE diva type thing. So, I mean, from recent history, I would say that the first female MMA fight in the center region at Complete Devastation.
That's a good fight to talk about. If you guys get a chance to YouTube Courtney Curran versus Maggie O'Neill, especially with our commentary on it, I think you and I got some really good thoughts going back and forth with that. But Maggie O'Neill training out of Damage Inc., she was such a heavy-handed striker. Mm-hmm. But Courtney Curran was such a precise striker. It was a great striking match, and that was a really good one.
All right. Who do you consider to be the greatest fighter of all time? Why can't I get this?
There are two different camps as far as who's the greatest fighter of all time. There is the Anderson Silva camp, because again, the guy was a 6-year middleweight champion. He wasn't beaten until Chris Weidman got a hold of him. And then on the other side of the coin, there's the Fedor Emelianenko camp, who think that he was the greatest of all time. He did amazing things over in Japan. I am a member of the Fedor Emelianenko camp, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Anderson Silva did a really good job of inflicting damage, but I don't think he was really ever tested all that well until Chris Weidman got a hold of him. Whereas whenever Fedor Emelianenko fought, he was constantly tested. I mean, he fought Mirko Krokop in his prime, the guy who has been known to decapitate people with that left kick. Mm-hmm. He fought Kevin Randleman, and Randleman was a huge stud back in the UFC in the early days when he was fighting Bas Rutten for the UFC Heavyweight Championship, which a lot of folks, myself included, think that fight did go to Randleman. Randleman suplexes Fedor Emelianenko and drops him square in the back of his head. Emelianenko gets back up and pummels Randleman until the fight's over. That fight could have easily broken his neck.
Right.
Krokop was not able to get his offense. I mean, Krokop is a very, very precise striker. He's a world-class K1 kickboxer. And there's been a lot of other cases where Emelianenko he's been tested in his fights, and he come back to win in decisive fashion. I think that's what separates between Fedor and Anderson Silva as the greatest of all time. So that's I think it's Fedor.
All right.
What was your favorite interview so far?
Ooh, that one's even tougher because there's so many.
And let's put it out this way. It doesn't even have to be exclusive to Cage Nation TV. It can be with the MMA Rundown as well.
I know, and that's what I was thinking about. I'm gonna have to say my favorite interview conducting had to be with Charlie Gathers, pre-Gathers versus Saltzman.
Ooh, that was a good interview.
And here's why. Charlie was pissed. Okay, Charlie...
He was charged.
He was amped like I had never seen him before. I seriously thought... I mean, the guy was so, pumped for this fight. He was so angry over this whole Facebook thing that was going on between him and Saltzman, the things that Saltzman had said about him on Facebook, which just had enraged him. I thought I was going to get hit. I seriously thought I was going to get hit. That's how much aggression he had inside him. And I thought it made for a great interview because you got to see the raw emotion, the passion, the ruthless aggression that this man has, and again the passion that he has for fighting. And yeah, that's gonna be my most memorable. That's gonna be my favorite.
On the other side of that coin, though, I think that interview alone said a lot about how talented Tyler Saltzman is at bringing drama to a fight.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's the sort of thing like the UFC really looks for. So, could we see a Charlie Gathers and a Tyler Saltzman in the UFC? Absolutely. I mean, I think Tyler did a great job of, and he always does a great job of selling tickets. I mean, the man knows how to work controversy to his benefit.
What is one misconception of MMA you'd like to correct once and for all?
Well, let's think about all the misconceptions that happen out there, that MMA is a blood sport. Well, that's just not the case anymore.
Right.
That MMA is a bunch of meatheads. Well, no, I mean, a lot of the MMA fighters are very, very intelligent guys who train very hard, and they're very, very well educated. Mm-hmm. I think if there was a misconception out there today that I would like to clear up once and for all, it would have to be that the UFC is the end-all be-all. As much as I'm a fan of the UFC,
right,
and as much as I really appreciate everything that the UFC has done for the sport, I think it would be to everyone's benefit, especially folks here in the State College, Alfred and Johnstown area, to realize that there are local fight leagues here in their backyard, that they're going to see good quality fights in their backyard, that they don't have to rely on the UFC for bringing them all their fight exposure. I think that's the misconception that I clear up, would be to get the knowledge out there that there are other fight leagues, there are fighters well worth watching to get out there and plunk your money down.
Now, let's not forget, though, that we're not just talking to State College, Altoona, and
oh, no,
Johnstown.
Pittsburgh, Philly,
we're
Ohio.
we're talking to everyone out there in the Cage Nation. I mean, we're on YouTube. We've gone from a local ABC TV station. Now we're pretty much nationwide and worldwide with this.
Sure.
So.
But that, and Drew, you're right. There are a lot of fight leagues out there,
right,
that can bring you the action that you want to see, and paying your money towards those smaller promotions in the short run is really doing the local guys a lot of good.
Right.
I mean, it's also benefiting them in the long run because people have paid to see this kind of fights, and those are fighters that the smaller or the larger leagues pick up. All right, Drew.
Make it an easy one.
I can't make promises. Okay, here's a good one. I think it's purely opinion based.
Okay.
Do you prefer the striking arts or the grappling arts in mixed martial arts?
Wow. Well, they both have their merits.
Yeah.
I guess I would.
And this is all preference. I mean,
I like the striking arts.
okay.
I'd take a striker over a grappler, and that's just preference.
I think that's what really kind of makes this our canon kind of work, because I prefer the grappling arts along with the striking arts. So
I can't work with you anymore.
you know, he does these storm offs and he's making it look like he's angry, but really he's just getting a drink. I mean, Drew is probably one of the most easygoing guys I know.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
If you could pair any fighters in their prime, who would it be?
You know, I was hoping you get that question and not me. Okay, if I could pair any fighters in their prime, are we talking about just a fight like an open weight, like it could be any possible two?
Sure, why not?
Hoist Gracie and Mike Tyson. Hoist Gracie broke the box. I did.
It's how excited you got.
It'd be Hoist Gracie.
Broke the box.
It'd be Hoist Gracie and Mike Tyson with the stipulation that Hoist Gracie trained with a kickboxer or a boxer, and Mike Tyson got to train with the Lion's Den.
And if Mike Tyson lost, he'd have to get rid of that tattoo on his face.
Well, I mean, Hoist Gracie probably would have choked it off of him. But, like when we interviewed Ken Shamrock, which, I mean, that was my shining moment in all of MMA. I mean, I was glowing for days on and before that date. If Ken was able to get a hold of Mike Tyson and teach him the ground arts, because no one knew submission at UFC 1 other than Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock. Mm-hmm. So let's give Mike Tyson that weapon. You know, let's give him that weapon. Let's give Hoist Gracie the ability to strike.
Okay.
I think that's the fight that anyone who was a fan of the '90s, like I was, and like possibly you were. I love it. Well, yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, the UFC, the Bloodsport in the '90s, it was.
I grew up in the '80s, but I love that.
Yeah, we love the '90s. I think that was the fight that all of us, as fight fans in the '90s, wanted to see, was Mike Tyson, pre or post prison. I mean, I don't think it mattered. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, Iron Mike. Let's say pre-prison.
Let's say pre-prison, because post-prison, that's when he's biting ears off, and it's just, you know, he's
when he was
talking to pigeons.
Pre-prison, he was hungry.
Or for ears. That's post-prison. He was hungry for ears and pigeons.
Pre-prison, he was hungry for wins.
That's my little friend. He's a pigeon. I like him. His name is Fluffy.
You know, it's not really.
Right. I mean, we could go on a whole episode of just Mike Tyson isms.
Well put.
But Mike Tyson versus Hoist Gracie, I think that would be the fight that I put together.
All right.
So that, ladies and gentlemen, was our walk down memory lane. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We tried to be as thought-provoking as possible. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed kind of digging into your brain a little bit.
Digging my brain.
Digging your brain.
Not much digging. All right. Coming up, we've got the hot topic, and the hot topic as of late seems to be revolving around one promotion and one promotion only, and I don't mean in a good way either.
No.
A lot of controversy surrounding Bellator. The hot topic, Bellator, and well, it's the Bellator Survival's Guide as to when the Armageddon of Bellator actually happens.
Right. That's a great way to put it.
The Bellator apocalypse.
Doomsday preppers, but for Bellator.
Yes. So, all you MMA fans out there who are also Doomsday preppers, stick around. We're going to get you prepped. It's Cage Nation TV right here on YouTube.
Hello, MMA fans. Look, people, MMA fans. And we're wrestling guys on an MMA show. Holy moly. What's this world coming to? We want to take this time and thank Drew Shannon and Albert Cameron.
We do?
Yeah.
All right,
For
thank you.
allowing us a little bit of their time here on Cage Nation Television. To promote the Pro Wrestling Rundown. Do I have to do all the talking here?
Come on, guys, show us a little bit of love. We're showing you some love. We know that they're a crossover fan, so catch us on our YouTube channel. What is it again, X?
YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Rundown.
Hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Cage Nation TV. Shout out to our good friends, the X-Man and YouTube's Mike Edwards. Not sure when the next episode of Pro Wrestling Rundown will be coming, but it should be very, very soon. So stay tuned. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you will not want to miss the commentary
Absolutely.
that those two guys can provide. All right, coming up right now is the hot topic. And of course, the hot topic for the past few weeks has been Bellator. The eventual demise, should we say? I don't know. It's the death knell has been tolling for a while, I think.
I wouldn't say it's inevitable. I think Bellator still has an opportunity. They can turn it around. Bellator can stop this.
They need to.
They really do. I think when it comes to, I pride myself as an MMA historian. I like to think of myself as such. And with that being said, I've seen this happen so many different times that Bellator, if Bellator were to go under because of their own poor business practices, there's nothing we can do to stop that.
Right.
We can't get into Bjorn Rebney's head and be like, Bjorn, you need to stop doing this. We can't. We can strongly suggest. We can make mention. We can raise a ruckus, Drew. We can ruckus.
We can riot.
We can riot. I'm not gonna riot.
No.
Not in this town.
No.
But we can make enough noise so that we can be heard. And I think that's what we're doing now. But if we cannot stop Bellator, we as MMA fans, as the Cage Nation, we really need to be prepared for what happens then. Because what I've seen is when these promotions go under, networks get scared. Oh, well, if a big guy like Bellator couldn't do it, what makes me think that these smaller promotions can do it too? And then they start pulling funding, they start pulling programming. So there's some things we can do to kind of stop that. Bellator, I mean, we can try to help out Bellator, but I mean, we can still help the other guys.
Now, let's also be clear though, Fox would be the exception to that because UFC has been on Fox for how long now?
A couple years
now, and they've gone solid. I mean, look, they're on the regular Fox.
Yep.
They're on Fox Sports 1.
FX.
They're on FX. God only knows they could be on FXX. Whatever it is.
Fox Sports 2.
They're on Fox Sports 2, exactly. The only thing they weren't on is Fox Soccer, and that's been taken over by FXX. So, will they make an appearance on there? I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, it wouldn't doubt it whatsoever. What the UFC has done, and you know, I hate that song by Stem, Face the Pain. That song really just kind of, it hurts right here. But
it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. But that is proving that the UFC is all about consistency. The UFC has found this works. This is what keeps us on TV. This is the direction we're going. And I think we've proven with the WFA, with the IFL, that once you change directions, you're really kind of abandoning all hope of consistency. Mm-hmm. And consistency is what keeps you on television. So now we have Bellator, who's doing things like putting money into reality TV shows, which there's a new one coming out with Rampage Jackson. We're letting reigning champions go. We're getting terrible ratings. I mean, Bellator needs to stick with, we have a weekly show. It's a tournament format. This is what we know. This is what we do.
Right.
And Bellator's really abandoning that, and it's not doing them any good.
Right. What can they do to prevent all this then?
Well, for one, not letting champions go.
Yeah, that
just sounds silly.
Letting Ben Askren go is completely ridiculous, and I don't understand that one bit.
I mean, I hate to keep using the professional wrestling analogies, but I mean, do you remember when Rick Rude was on Raw and he was on Nitro the same night?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was just poor planning.
Right. But I mean, it was essentially if a contract expires, the non-compete clause is null and void.
Right.
So if Bellator lets Ben Askren's contract go, there's nothing stopping him from appearing at the very next UFC and, you know, one, being undefeated as a Bellator champion, and two, going to another market. That is just dangerous for Bellator.
Right.
I mean, it kind of makes their whole empire look weak, and that's the last thing Bellator wants right now. Bellator was on ESPN Deportes. It was a Latin. Well, Bellator in and of itself is a Latin word.
Right.
Okay, so they were on ESPN. I mean, they did great. They go to MTV2. That's great. They end up on Spike TV. That's great. And what they did was they kept going and they kept growing. Well, now they're starting to get away from that a little bit. And I mean, MMA is a fantastic sport, and I love it with all my heart. But it's not always great material for reality television.
Do you feel that Viacom has something to do with this, with the eventual demise of Bellator?
I guess Impact Wrestling is not doing that hot. and I guess Viacom's involved with that too.
Right.
So, I mean, would Viacom be better off by outsourcing their combat sports programming? Well, if Bellator's not doing so hot and Impact Wrestling's not doing so hot, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's probably better off that you have someone who knows what they're doing with combat sports do combat sports.
Right. I mean, because we've seen we have clearly seen what Viacom has done with other mediums. Take a look at MTV. MTV was wall-to-wall music videos, and they had very little other programming. Maybe remote control, maybe Liquid Television, Beavis and Butthead. But the majority of their programming was music videos. Well, now as things have advanced, MTV has strayed from that, a Viacom company. They've gone from the music videos over to all of these really, really, really bad reality shows. And, of course, watching Miley Cyrus twerking all over. You know what? We're not going to talk about Miley. We're done. Miley is... That's so 2 weeks ago. We're done with that.
Well, I mean, it'd be easy for us to demonize Viacom. Because, like, you know, it's what we enjoy. Did MTV have to evolve to keep their product current for the younger market? I mean, when we watched MTV, we were, what, between 14 and 18, really? I mean, the core of our...
I was younger than that. But
Okay, but yeah. I mean, they produced programming that was relevant for our generation that younger time.
Okay.
I don't think MTV could have sustained themselves on our generation by producing the same things we love. They'd have to evolve.
But here's the thing: did they have to evolve, or I mean, the music is what actually evolved, and that's what their programming was based on. Was the music videos. And as time evolved, as it always does, the music evolves. Did we really need to have the programming evolve with that?
Well, it all comes down to ratings. I mean, The Real World was getting better ratings than Total Request Live. And
yeah,
so,
but it was Carson Daly. I mean, come on.
You know, I agree. It was Carson Daly. I mean, but Total Request Live, I mean, Korn was on Total Request Live back in the 90s.
Right.
And then The Real World started getting better ratings than TRL, so The Real World started getting the preferences. I mean, today, there's a vast difference between the MTV you and I watched with Beavis and Butthead and Liquid Television to Teen Mom, 16 and Pregnant, and I'm making piss poor decisions on camera, you know.
So, to bring it back around to MMA and not MTV, to Viacom, you don't feel that Viacom has had any influence whatsoever in the decision-making of Bellator or any of the programs?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Okay.
I'm sure they do.
That's, I think, what I'm basically getting
at. Viacom understands television. I mean, Viacom does TV better than you and I at this point. I think it'd be the point. So Viacom has done TV very, very well. I don't think Viacom understands combat sports. And I think that's where Bellator and Impact Wrestling are harming themselves.
Well, let's not forget CBS was also a Viacom network.
And Elite XC was on CBS for what, 2 shows?
Two shows. 3? That was it.
Maybe 3?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of leads back to CBS, Kimbo Slice getting knocked out by Seth Petrozelli, and then Elite XC completely folding like a piss poor house of cards.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Swearing an awful lot this episode.
I apologize. I don't know if are those curses? You can bleep them out.
Yeah, I can't get it.
You can bleep them out. We have that ability.
Not bleeping them out. It's YouTube, for God's sake.
Another combat sports program that was on a Viacom network was Wrestling Society X. It was on MTV too.
Yes.
How long did that last?
Not long.
12 episodes, maybe.
If that.
And
I didn't even know it existed. I watched 1, and I'm like, what is this?
Right. So I mean, moral of the story is Viacom needs to get someone who understands combat sports. I mean, Albert Cameron and Drew Shannon would be happy to go work for Viacom and do combat sports right for you guys. But the thing that really makes me nervous with this whole Bellator situation is if Bellator goes under, I think other cable networks are going to get nervous and they're going to start pulling MMA programming. And I think we're at a part right now where a lot of our smaller promotions are huge and should be getting cable TV exposure. So Gladiators, the Cage on Root Sports is a great thing. I mean, I can watch XFE on Comcast Sportsnet Philly. So this whole came down to a preparation thing. If Bellator goes under, what do? We don't stop spending our money on MMA. We go to local shows. We watch Gladiators, the Cage when they're on Root Sports TV. We rally as a Cage Nation and we go out and we support the other organizations. If we can't stop Bellator from making bad decisions, we just can't. But we can go support the companies who do.
We have to show everyone out there, we have to show the major networks that MMA, is a viable commodity.
Oh yeah.
that it is a moneymaker and it is a ratings getter, and that one bad apple does not necessarily spoil the whole bunch.
Right.
Exactly. Although I think apples come in barrels and not bunches, but who am I? Potato, patata. Anyway, so yes, what we need to do is we do need to spend our money on the local MMA promotions. We need to spend our money if you want to see quality pay-per-views. Yes, by all means, plunk down the 50 some odd bucks to watch UFC, or log on to Go Fight Live. Watch the internet pay-per-views that are available.
Absolutely.
There are so many options out there, but make sure that your voice is heard, and by voice, I do mean the almighty dollar.
Yeah. What we can do is we go out and we show those networks that we as MMA fans, that we got the buying power. Because we do.
Right.
I mean, we go out, we spend 50, 60 bucks on a pay-per-view. We go out, we spend 50, 60 bucks on a ticket. I mean, we've got good money to spend, and we show them that we are intelligent human beings who know where to spend that money.
Right.
I mean, and Drew's right, the dollar talks. I mean, that's just business all over the world.
That's business 101. Money talks and BS walks.
Mm-hmm. So, I think that...
Is that our preparedness?
I think that brings us... Well, I mean, we
Our preparedness is spend money like it's going out of style on other MMA groups. That's how we prepare.
Well, think about it. The stock market crashed. What did everyone do? They stopped spending money. What did that do? That hurt all the other companies. Whenever the stock market started to crash, if we would have went out there and started spending money on commodities and things that were this, that, and the other, if we would have kept spending money and not been nervous, the economic crisis wouldn't have been that bad.
Right.
So, like, essentially telling the Cage Nation to go spend money is a good thing.
Right.
I mean, because we're putting the money in the hands of the organizations who can handle it responsibly.
And if you want to pay us to do this show,
Sponsorships are available.
by all means, we'll take your money.
Absolutely.
That's going to do it for another edition of Cage Nation TV.
Yeah, it was a good one. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Again, look forward to that recap of Gladiators of the Cage Road to Glory 5.
Yes.
While you guys are at it, you're watching us on YouTube. I just touched Drew's stomach. I don't know. I just did it again.
Why do you keep doing that?
I don't know, because I'm a hand talker. I'm a hand talker.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
Like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Subscribe to this channel, and we're gonna bring all the great Cage Nation goodness to you.
And don't forget the website, CageNationTV.com.
Jinx, give me a Coke.
I owe you nothing.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your support. We appreciate everyone who considers themselves a citizen of the Cage Nation. For Drew Shannon, I'm Albert Cameron.
And we promise the Road to Glory episode will be coming very, very soon, within hopefully a couple of days. As soon as we get all the footage put together, we're going to work on that feverishly as soon as we get back from the Gladiators of the Cage event. So stay tuned to Facebook, YouTube, wherever you watch us on. We're going to have that wrap up, that recap for you as soon as we can. All right? Until then, we will see you next time. Cage Nation TV.
Let's go. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation.
All right.
Coming out in 5, 4, 3.
Bet you didn't know I could talk like a little girl, did you? Man of many talents.